What is up, everybody? It is your friendly neighborhood gamer, PTK BLAM, back with another daily video. And yes, it is now 9:30 at night. So I told you guys in the first two videos that I started doing this daily thing that I'm probably going to be recording late at night from now on, man. It's really the only time I get during the day, this quiet time that I can do this. But anyway, guys, we're not here to talk about that, guys. First thing I want to do is say I appreciate everybody's love and support that came up and showed out on the podcast today. I want to say thank you to the panel, everybody that was watching live. I appreciate it. If you did not watch it live, I did retweet it and put that tweet out earlier with the link in it, and I'll go ahead and throw that tweet out again here in a couple minutes after I get done with this video, just in case you didn't get to see it live. And I know a lot of my East Coast people don't really get to watch it or get to watch it live because it's already like 8, 9 o'clock by the time I do the podcast here on my side of the state. So anyway, guys, I do want to get to the topic here today. What I wanted to talk about, and I touched on this in the podcast, by the way, was 2018 going forward, specifically for Xbox. I mean, 2018 is gonna be a big year for a lot of people. If you own a Nintendo, what their roadmap is for the future. Also, if you own a PlayStation, they've just coming off of Paris Week, the Games Paris Week. Sorry about that. They've displayed a lot of games. I don't know if any of those games will be out next year. I assume probably Detroit and probably God of War, if I had to guess what games were going to be out next year. The Last of Us 2, that's not going to be 2018. More than likely that Samurai game, the Tsushima game, that's not going to probably be 2018 also too. So you'll probably get a God of War and you'll probably get that Detroit game that's going to come out. So it's a big year for Nintendo, big year for Sony. Excuse me. But I definitely wanted to touch on Xbox, man. So one of the biggest things, and I talked about this on the podcast, was that hardware is no longer an issue. With the Xbox One coming in less than 3 or 4 days now, something like that, maybe less than a week now. Hardware is not going to be an issue. Usually, that was the narrative moving forward. There was always this gap between the two systems, albeit a small, very, very negligible gap. There was always these things, especially with third-party games. A lot of the developers would lean more towards Sony's side just because of the additional power that the console provided. Also, the bigger install base. Obviously, that's more attractive to developers and publishers. But honestly, that's not going to be an issue from here on out. We never had a mid-gen refresh like this before. This is the first time this has ever happened. And shout out to Live. He said this on the podcast. I think the only time we've had a mid-gen upgrade that was this huge was probably like the 32X. But the problem with the 32X is that you had to buy completely separate games. You couldn't play the games that you already have. They weren't enhanced games that you already had. You had to go buy completely separate cartridges for that thing, and it just failed horribly. But that's not going to be an issue with the One X. You can bring all your games over with you. Everything's going to go translate right across the board. You're not going to have to do any extra legwork to make everything work. But anyway, besides that, the hardware issue is not going to be a problem anymore. You got the One X. So essentially, as I stated on the podcast, I feel like that's Microsoft saying, you know what, developers, here is everything that you guys asked for. We're going to draw a line in the sand. Now, they're not going to require these developers to really push 4K, push 60 frames, push to use all of the assets that the console provides. But they're giving them a blank slate. They're giving them a huge sandbox to use with more assets, more power, more space to use than they've ever had before. So they're literally giving these developers a lot of reasons to make these games as best as they possibly can. And I think that since there's so many third parties hopping on the bandwagon or hopping on board, I think that the narrative is going to change as far as these third party games go. You're going to see the better versions of these third party games on the Xbox. So that's going to be something that's different. You're going to see the 4K, more 4K games, more 1080p, lock 60 games on the Xbox One as opposed to the PS Pro or the PS4 standard vanilla. So that's going to be something that we haven't experienced this generation. That's going to be definitely a sizable gap with the Xbox One X. So what that's going to do is that's going to really bring in the software. Since there's no longer a hardware issue or a hardware question, I'm expecting Microsoft to bring the software from 2018 on out. I don't really see a reason why they shouldn't. The power is no longer there. There's going to be no more third-party parity. That's not going to be an issue. I'm expecting them to do well with the games. Now, we know there's some games coming out that are already going to take advantage of the One X. I mean, Crackdown's coming out. That got pushed back. Sea of Thieves is coming out in 2018. That got pushed back. Obviously, State of Decay 2 is coming out. Those are all exclusives that are dropping in 2018. Well, so they say they're dropping in 2018. For all we know, we don't know. Those games have been pushed back multiple times. So hopefully they'll come out in 2018. So we got those three exclusives. Obviously, multiplats. Who knows what's going to happen at this year's E3? Now that the One X news is out of the way, the last two E3s, that's what's been dominating the news. You know, pre E3, post E3, they have to spend a lot of time talking about the One X. This year is next year is going to be different. That's going to be the first year where everybody's going to have the One X. By the time June comes around, everybody will had it for 8-9 months. So it really won't be the talk of the town. It'll be all about games. It'll be all about software, like it should be. As I've always said, that's really what drives everything. So I'm expecting a huge blowout in 2018, and honestly, this is the first time this past E3 and this next E3 that we really don't know. There's really no roadmap, and that's another thing that I want to talk to you guys about too. A lot of people have kind of been harping on Microsoft and Xbox because it really hasn't been a legitimate roadmap. 2018 should provide a good glimpse into what the roadmap is going to be moving forward. Okay, so you got those three exclusives coming out, especially if those three exclusives come out in 2018 and they don't get pushed back any further. I mean, I can see State of Decay definitely coming out in 2018. I can definitely see Sea of Thieves coming out in 2018. I'm a little apprehensive about Crackdown just because we don't hear anything about it. We didn't see really much about it at E3. We don't know how far along it is. We didn't really get to see a whole lot of gameplay, so it worries me a little bit. So I'm hoping within the next 3 to 5 months we hear something or see some gameplay or get some tweets from somebody about it, because that's the only thing that kind of worries me about. But definitely looking forward to E3 2018, seeing what new games, new experiences, how these games are going to be taking advantage of the Xbox One X. A lot of these developers, I'm hoping, jump on board, and I really, 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 really hope Microsoft decides to do a couple things. Obviously, Halo is going to be a big one. We didn't get a Halo this year, so are we going to see a Halo next year? That's going to be a thing. I'm hoping for a new first-party franchise. Hoping they do something brand new or bring back maybe like Splinter Cell, or that's not first party, but if they can do Splinter Cell, that would be awesome. Or bring back Fable in some form. Or even Scalebound, maybe. I mean, we may see that. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if Scalebound is dead in the water. I know they still own the Fable IP. Sunset Overdrive, a lot of people have been asking for that. Insomniac said that they were okay with making it, that they want to make another one. They just have to find a publisher. Who knows what's going to happen with that? So who knows? It's a lot of balls in the air, and we have no idea where these balls are going to land. No pun intended, everybody. So we have no idea where things are going to shape up. But at the end of the day, it's just exciting to kind of sit and have an opinion and kind of think about the way things are going to be in 6 to 8 months. You never know. This time, not this time next year, but E3 next year is going to be absolutely fire for everybody. So I'm expecting a huge blowout. But anyway, guys, let me know in the comment section what you guys think is going to be big in E3. Not E3 2018 necessarily, but what's going to be big for Xbox in 2018. Obviously, new hardware, that's not going to be an issue. But you guys let me know down in the comment section, guys. Also, I want to let you guys know, please show support on the videos. You guys have been doing awesome, and I thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Like, subscribe to the channel if you guys have not. Also, leave comments down in the section. I love interaction, so when you guys comment, I try and comment back to everybody. I try and leave a thumbs up. I try and send some information back to you guys, talk back to you guys, and interact. I love it when that happens. So you guys are awesome. But I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here, guys. Running a little bit late, gotta go to bed, but I'm gonna go ahead and get this video up tonight. So I will see you guys later. Podcast will be live next week. I will have a special guest on next week. I don't know which guest it'll be. I kind of got a couple people that I'm juggling, so hopefully somebody gets back to me sometime early next week, and we'll see. But anyway, guys, I'm gonna head out. You guys have a good night. Peace out.